Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode with iTrack. Hey, big shout out to all the iTrack fam tapping in like you always do, man. I appreciate each and every one of you. And if this is your first time here, what we like to do is take a look at the most interesting and creepy TikToks and kind of evaluate for ourselves whether these are fact or fake. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button for me, smash that subscribe button, and join the iTrack fam and keep up with the latest and greatest creepy vids all across the net. Let's go ahead and get straight into it.
What if I told you the ocean was the real outer space? A couple years ago, an independent researcher named Tyler Schmerkenhieser designed and engineered a one-of-one submarine with an adaptive hyperalloy composite hull. To prove it, guy was obsessed, believed the concept of the ocean floor itself was a lie, stuck a camera on the front of the submarine, and set off into the unexplored depths of the Mariana Trench. And Buddy, the species he'd captured on these videos, were things that have yet to be explained to this day. But instead of finding the seafloor, he discovered what he described as an abyssal vortex, a swirling black whirlpool that no previous expedition had ever encountered. Said that by the time he'd gotten through it, he rose up to lands that he'd never seen before in his life. Saw these strange human-like beings standing up on the shore. Was like this upside-down world, accessible through vortex canals in the depths of the water.
If China owns 800 billion of U.S. debt, which they do, then of course the United States, as the borrower, has to pay interest, which means that you and I and everybody else gets to pay taxes every year that go to Washington, where they don't fund our roads or schools or hospitals. It's money that the United States government collects and sends to Beijing to pay interest on the debt. And the Chinese use to develop the Red Army. Do you understand? All of this has to happen beneath the surface. Because if Americans understood what I just said, they would realize that beneath all the reality is the opposite. That's the reality of the economic of capitalism.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think most Americans understand what's going on with America and what kind of debt they have, and pretty much the majority of the corruption that's going on. But they most likely feel like, hey, what can I do about it?
If you want, which is what they do want, a world government, a world central bank, a world army, an amalgamation of NATO and the UN peacekeeping operation, a world currency, electronic, no cash, and a microchip population, then what you've got to do, and this is the way they work, a process I call problem, reaction, solution, you've got to keep creating the problems, get the people to react, do something in fear and outrage, oh, look what's happening, what they're going to do about it, and then they, who've covertly created the problem, offer the solutions to the problems they've created, which is the constant centralization of power. That's what all the solutions are. And we're seeing such a wonderful example now with what's happening in the financial industry. And if we don't wake up...
If you look up the deaths of most billionaires or people as important, they died in a plane crash. Look at Evgeny Prigozhin. Prigozhin was the leader of the Wagner Group, the largest militia in the world powered by Russia. When he died, his plane went down randomly. Look at Kobe's death. As soon as he had the lawsuit with the energy company, his helicopter goes down. Look at all the crypto billionaires who died last year, all plane crash.
Yeah, there was a Nigerian from Lagos that died going to the Super Bowl, I believe, and he was about to make a major purchase in Nigeria. You know, that could have made him a quick billionaire. He was already a multi-millionaire.
Yeah, because you gotta understand something, like if one person is becoming a billionaire, someone else is going to zero. That's just the way of business. It's how the world works. So, you know.
I mean, I might slightly disagree with that. Just because somebody just became a billionaire doesn't mean somebody went to zero. More times than not, it just means somebody made more money than somebody else. And I think what we can take from this is that when you get into these upper echelon tax brackets, you better watch everything that you do. cross your T's, dot your I's, the whole nine. You know what I mean? Definitely.
Does anyone know why the entire United States is covered by an invisible layer of clouds? And this is this week. Today is January 17th. So I want to show you this video. I wish I could credit the person, but on Twitter they steal videos and post them, so I don't know who did it. If you do know, tag them below. But basically they were looking at cloud coverage on one of these radars, right? And what they found was for like the past 2 weeks, the entire US, even right now, is covered by an invisible layer of cloud coverage. That is super, super, super weird. You can see where all the main clouds are, but then you go look outside and you can't really see this invisible layer, and who knows what the invisible layer really is. Oh yeah, it's not just the United States, it's the entire world. So I opened up the Windy app to see if maybe it was here, and it wasn't. So this reminds me, do you remember when we had that glitch on Event 2 Sky? But in that same glitch, we saw physical manifestations at, say, South Africa. And quite literally at the same time, people have been taking pictures of 2 full moons, and the full moon's been there for 4 or 5 days. And of course, it's not just the moon. The sun has been photographed a whole bunch the last few days, showing all this extra stuff. But some people are able to photograph supposedly Nibiru in the sky while this is all going on. And we had the orbs just disappear. So maybe all of it's still there. And for some reason, we just can't see it. I don't know. By the way, this video is a joke, I'm being stupid.
Welcome to Time Shift, the world's first cryopreservation facility designed to extend your lifespan while keeping your body fully protected from biological decay. Time Shift could preserve patients with terminal illnesses until a cure is found. It could slow down the progression of neurodegenerative diseases and aggressive cancers, creating more time for the researchers to discover effective therapeutics and complete the clinical trials. Prior to cryopreservation, you will have the option to undergo additional enhancements and repairs. This includes disease and stress resistance and longevity interventions, as well as gene therapy, ensuring a healthier future upon revival. While in cryohibernation, advanced AI algorithms will ensure optimal storage conditions and provide real-time updates to your loved ones. Before hibernation, a sophisticated digital representation of you is created using all your available data. This digital copy, along with your lifelike AI avatar, will help you stay connected with your friends and family, maintaining your relationships and presence in their lives. Our Cryo Memory Vault securely stores all your interactions with your loved ones and uses advanced self-learning algorithms to continually refine your digital persona over time. It also uses these interactions to compile a rich family history timeline, which can be viewed upon revival, offering you a comprehensive chronicle of cherished moments and milestones.
Now, if you don't believe this isn't in the pipeline already, you better wake up. There are people on this earth that want to live forever. There are people that have tons of money and that want to spend their money for the rest of their natural born life that doesn't end. And that's their prerogative, but this is a fact.
I will admit, as a friend of Ye, that I thought he was completely paranoid and crazy when he kept telling me that everyone around him was an op. He used to say, this person's an op, this person's an op, this person's an op. Like, you know, like as if he was accusing them all of being feds. He even at one point questioned me when I was asking him questions and everything was coming down. He's like, are you an op? I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know anybody in Hollywood. Obviously, I'm not an op. And I thought these were just, again, paranoid delusions. But now I have a very different perspective on this. I have an understanding of what Kanye went through to get out, right? To basically sell everything, give his designs, end his marriage. Because when you leave a cult, of course, it's not easy. They try to destroy you. They try to Sigmund Freud you. They try to gaslight you. They try to call you crazy, express concern, fake friends. They even put pressure on your family. Oh man, you just need some rest. You're just going crazy. Hey, you know what? I'm your friend. I've always been your friend. We don't want this to happen to you. And then when you say, no, I'm done with this, then come all of the headlines. Then come the headlines about Hailey Bieber spending all of Justin's money. Why did he sell his catalog? Is he going to go broke? Friends are concerned. They're concerned because he's unfollowing people. Oh my God, he must be having a mental breakdown. Look, guys, it is clear that Justin Bieber wants out. He probably can't even speak out.
Hey, as time passes by, I realize how much of a genius Kanye really is. And that, in my opinion, is based strictly off of his actions. He did over $100 million in sales off the Yeezy brand, and he dropped an independent album, right? That went #1. So, I mean, he definitely figured it out, and I think his pivot is going to change the course of how a lot of artists do things.
Last week, he's a weirdo, Mark Zuckerberg came to the White House, kissed my ass. Kissed my ass. Sir, I'd love to have dinner. Sir, I'd love to have dinner. I'd love to bring my lovely wife. All right, Mark, come on in. Sir, you're #1 on Facebook. I'd like to congratulate you. Oh, thank you very much, Mark. I appreciate it. Weirdo Mark Zuckerberg confessed that in 2020, the FBI went to Facebook and the media and gave them the false narrative that the Hunter Biden laptop from hell was Russian disinformation, even though they knew that was not true.
Hey, one thing about Trump is he's never switched up. You know, whether he's the president or whether he's the star of his reality TV show, he's always just said what it was, you know, good, bad, or indifferent. And, you know, most people are afraid to just speak on how they feel about somebody. And it's clear that he's not.
It's like you just came up out of the water. Bro, what in the world is that?
It just came up out of the water. It's just hovering there, bro.
That is so crazy. Bro, they're here. They're fucking here, man.
Yeah, can you hear it?
Yep.
What the hell is that sound?
I know, we laughed.
It won't let me hold my camera still.
You know what I just found out? So
It's just hovering over the water.
she got caught. Sorry.
What the fuck is that, man? What is that, eh? They're here! They're here! It's not doing nothing. And as you can see, it's really windy today.
Scientists have quantified the speed of human thought for the first time. Their findings reveal that our brains process information at a rate of just 10 bits per second, which is slower than the rate at which our senses gather information. Our sensory systems gather information about the world around us at a rate of 1 billion bits per second, which is 100 million times faster than our conscious thought processes. This raises questions about why our brains filter so much data and why we seem capable of focusing on only one thought at a time. Researchers suggest that this slowness of thought may be rooted in our evolutionary history. Early creatures with simple nervous systems primarily used their brains for navigation, guiding them towards food and away from danger. This focus on single paths may have shaped the way our brains evolved, leading to the constraint of processing one thought at a time. In essence, our thinking can be seen as navigating through a complex landscape of abstract concepts, following one pathway at a time. This inherent limitation may explain why we struggle to multitask effectively when it comes to complex tasks, and why we can only explore one possible sequence of thoughts at a time. Rather than processing multiple tasks simultaneously, our brains rapidly switch between them, incurring a cost in terms of time and efficiency. The study also challenges futuristic ideas about brain-computer interfaces that aim to accelerate human communication, as our thought processes may be inherently constrained by this speed limit. Future research will explore how and if this limitation affects our cognitive abilities.
You know what? The human brain was smart enough to delegate, so there's no need to really think about so many things at one time. You know what I mean? The whole point of delegation is to do many things at one time.
Am I the only person who's not really buying this story? Let me show you why. So let's start with the fact that it was ship 33 that had the issue, apparently. Out of all ships, ship 33. In every single angle of the video we have, we see it going with the horizon and not going up and down vertically. All the vertical tapes were people holding their camera the opposite way, like you can see right here. But what if I told you we've been seeing this exact type situation every month for a few months now? Like, for instance, this was the one that happened about 1 month ago, and they deemed it not a meteor shower, and it happened when all the crazy stuff was happening in the northeast United States, if you get what I'm talking about. Further, do you remember this type of stuff always popping up in the sky? Well, after Starlink came out, they claimed that every single one of these was just Starlink, even though it started happening way before Starlink. All over the place. Then we had people coming out saying, oh, there's whole fleets of interdimensional creatures on the way to Earth. So I mean, is this really Ship 33 going straight with Horizon? Oh, it's so fast and gravity will stay up. I doubt it. Plus, keeping the same color the entire time without dimming out. And by the way, did you know that spiritual things make humans act funny? At the same exact time, a few cars drove off the bridge. A few cars off the bridge in Washington, D.C. Again, same time. Not to mention having a full moon 4 days in a row. Look at this from the launch. Do you think that this would make it into space? It's layered up with aluminum foil.
Mark Zuckerberg and TikTok CEO actually go way back. All the way back to when Shouzi Chu worked as an intern at Facebook when it was still a startup, right before he kicked off his worldwide tech career. Chu joined TikTok parent company ByteDance in 2021, first as CFO and later as CEO of TikTok. It was then that Chu once again crossed paths with Meta CEO Zuckerberg, but this time as a competitor. With at least 150 million monthly active users in the US and more than 1 billion globally, TikTok has become a key player in social media and a rare top platform that Zuckerberg doesn't own. The two competitors will likely face each other again at Donald Trump's inauguration, as they are both confirmed for attendance.
Way weirder and way more true, and there's no belief required, they're von Neumann probes. Extraterrestrials on Earth right now are semi-intelligent, AI-driven von Neumann probes with a living jelly inside these transmedium craft that are flying around like Nest Cam surveillance cameras, and they're coming from the ocean. They're not coming from space. They always have. They've always been coming from the ocean.
Hey, he just said a lot that had me overthink. Was it just me, or did you have the same situation?
We're beginning to receive reports that Australia is now starting to witness the drones in the orbs in the sky. I want to talk about this video that was sent to me. This was taken in Cornilla Beach, Australia, around December 17th, 2024. And honestly, this is more than just a massive detached cloud that's hovering above the beach itself. This may be a cloaked mothership, not just a spaceship. This thing is massive. So for those who want to quickly claim that it's just a shelf cloud, it's detached by itself, hovering above the water. Really? Take a look at this and tell me what you think.
Hey, Ozzy, you guys are starting to get some action. Hey, let me know if you've seen anything.
It failed, but at least it was entertaining. That's what Elon Musk said after his SpaceX Starship exploded over the Atlantic Ocean shortly after liftoff in Texas. The blast sent glowing debris flying through the sky, which ended up causing flight delays.
One of the most fascinating things that I can't stop thinking about is how the book of Isaiah from the Dead Sea Scrolls was verbatim the same as the book of Isaiah that they found 1,000 years later.
Wow.
1,000 years.
Wow.
And it was exact, word for word.
Yeah.
Like, that's incredible.
It's not only incredible, but I always think the fact that the Bible endures is interesting.
Yeah, it's
right?
very interesting.
It endures.
I always go back to, like, what were they trying to do? What was it really all about?
But what we've got here, once again, as you can see in this area, you can see another mouse right there, and he runs away. I don't think he comes back.
How long have you known this secret about unidentified, anomalous phenomena, being of non-human origin?
For more than 10 years. We did recover things that were exotic in nature in the sky, and we know they were classified craft.
So tell me about the moment when you realized that you were involved in a retrieval of non-human technology, alien tech.
So it became very clear the first time our communication process and procedure was modified. And then just visually looking at the object on the ground, you could tell that it was extraordinary and anomalous. It was not human.
What did you see?
I saw an egg, a white egg.
Was there any visible propulsion system on it?
No, not what we would know. There's no engine, there was no thermal signature.
How did you know that that egg-shaped object was non-human in origin?
Well, visually, after seeing all kinds of things in my past, it was clearly something that was ridiculously looking. It's inconsistent with anything I'd ever seen before. I can also tell you that the reaction by my team, we all knew we were dealing with something extraordinary.
That man didn't blink at all, so he might have been telling the truth.
So talk about an alien investigation. This is the craziest story. This thing, Operation Plate, this village in Brazil, were just terrorized by UFOs for months to where people were actually attacked. I think a couple of people actually died. There was just so many reports of like at night in the ocean, there would be hundreds of different shaped UFOs just going. It was so secretive, Operation Plate, that no one knew about it until the dictatorship got dissolved and the CIA came down and collected all of the information on Operation Plate and brought it back to him. But it's like the most well-documented, biggest encounter, so many eyewitnesses, and we still don't know everything about it because the CIA now has it, and it's still, I think, technically classified.
Interesting.
It's crazy though.
Flying plate.
Yeah.
If I was government in Brazil, I would just have someone open up a really nice restaurant called the Flying Plate.
Yeah.
So whenever you Google Flying Plate Brazil, that's the first thing that will pop up.
But it reminds me of Tim Alberino's
the face peelers.
Yeah.
Oh, Peru.
With the laser
Dude, it's the same
cutting.
thing. What is that? What the fuck is that?
What in the hell?
Beyonce has been replaced by a clone, and she warned us this would happen. A lot of fans have forgotten, but last year, during a concert, Beyonce was acting strange, almost like she was a completely different person. People in the front rows swear it wasn't her, claiming she's been replaced by a lookalike or even a clone. So I don't know what you think, but according to them, Beyonce no longer has the same facial features she used to. And more than that, her movements seem different too, almost robotic. But wait, check this out. Beyonce actually warned us she'd be replaced. In this old video, she talks about a robot clone.
Introducing Beyonce.
And if you're skeptical, here's what Beyonce is supposed to look like. What could she have done or said to deserve something like this? Many believe it's a way to keep control over her, even against her will. Do you really think the Beyonce we know is still here? Or has she been erased and replaced for good? If you like my videos and want to support me, click the link in my bio.
At this point, I just don't know. So much weird stuff going on in Hollywood, I wouldn't be surprised, put it that way. But let me know what you think.
I don't think Mel Gibson is a good egg. I know people say that, but keep in mind, he's got billions of dollars. How did that happen? So I know that he plays the part we want him to play because they're doing oppositional, things like the people that are conspiracy theorists. We need Mel Gibson talking out here. We need this talking out here. I don't believe it, okay? Not all who do. I didn't say all who do. Some of it is religious for people. But when you control people with manipulation, and that's what spells are, and that's what magic is, it's manipulating the energy. So it's controlled opposition. That's how I feel about it, okay? I understand, but he's a billionaire. He did not get his billions without being compliant. And I don't care what you say to me. I love Braveheart, one of my favorite movies. However, he did not get there without playing the game. So I don't need entertainers being in the government. I don't think that that's a right thing. It's idle star worship.
How do they do that? How do they turn a family member against you?
So everyone in the United States, so if you look, a summary of our main message is, number one, everyone in the United States, and it appears to be most of the world, are being tracked by certain satellites. And these satellites are called GPS satellites. And they are the latest technology. All of this is done with a top secret clearance. They have more than 190 satellites under their direct control. They track the precise location of every US citizen by bouncing a microwave beam right here on the top back part of your head. And if you place your hand there firmly, put your knuckles right above it, you can actually feel the microwave pulses. They're about once per second. Everyone in the United States is tracked. Every person that I have tested with my own hand, I can feel the microwave pulse. And these weapons produce a microwave scalar beam. In other words, this is a new type of technology that operates under a very mysterious wave. It's called a scalar wave. And it is apparently part of the deep state plan to monitor, track, and surveil everyone on the planet.
Oh, okay, great.
They aren't particular just to U.S. citizens. We have found that this is a global program.
Hey, you want to talk about disturbing, but how did he switch from families turning against you to everybody's being surveilled? I kind of missed something there, but all of it's disturbing nonetheless.
Getting this on tape?
Yeah, that is weird. Oh my gosh, look at that.
Oh my gosh. I'll send you this in a minute.
Okay. That is amazing.
It's coming across us.
Really? What time is it there?
5:30ish. Oh my God, Mom, you aren't going to believe this.
What is that?
What is that?
Something blew up. That is so weird.
Now that might just be one of the clearest videos I've seen, and that doesn't look like any SpaceX. I'll be quite honest with you. That looks like some kind of something else. I don't even know exactly what, but not no SpaceX. Let me know what you think.
Massive wildfires are currently tearing up California's west coast, and this has left thousands of buildings destroyed, as well as forced tens of thousands to evacuate their homes. But what most people don't know is that these wildfires have been inevitable for years, and people are just now finding out. For example, if you look at where most of the west coast moisture comes in, you can see that Southern California lies right outside of its range. And this is because while the Pacific Ocean deposits a fair amount of rain into the states of Washington and Oregon, this rain is blocked by a high pressure zone encompassing most of Southern California during the summer months, making it generally way drier than its surrounding areas. During the wintertime, however, this zone briefly shrinks down, giving California almost all of its yearly rain in a very short time period. Now, while this means that Southern California should be having a rainy season right now, 2024 saw an abnormally dry season during the summer, and this left on the surface tons of flammable bushes and shrubbery. Coupling this with the immensely strong Santa Ana winds, and these are the perfect ingredients to create huge and devastating wildfires. Now, with climate change becoming more prominent, it's clear that disasters like this are only going to become more common as the years go by.
The newly announced high-speed rail map compared to the fires. Not saying anything, just showing you a picture.
Years ago, I was invited to go to an underground research facility in El Paso on the Mexican-American border. And this was a place where they were doing these sort of technologies that are trans-dimensional, but medical applications. Major stuff, technologies that literally, electromagnetic trans-dimensional technologies where they can, if someone had a missing limb, they can attach to the subtle body, you know, the mystics call astral body, but that energy, like you have phantom pain, and regrow it. I mean, here's the issue. The same technology that gives you that would give you free energy to run your house, because it's in that same, let's call it constellation of extraordinary technologies that they want to keep secret. So there are a lot of spin-offs beyond energy, propulsion, and the environment that will benefit humanity. once we can get the first level of this out, because it's unbelievable how backward even our medical technology is compared to what's possible. So that's also a very bit of good news.
Only question I have is, how is he able to speak about this so freely? I mean, if this is supposed to be hidden, technology or even hidden information, kept secret from the public, how is he able to talk about it so freely? If you know something I don't, definitely let me know.
It's going to be negative 65 degrees in the blue for over a week. A second polar vortex is causing all of this blue area to be 90 degrees below normal temperature. The average temperature for Tennessee at night in January is 25 degrees. And 90 degrees below that is negative 65. Starting this Sunday, nearly the entire U.S. is going to be below zero. You can see it right here on the Weather Channel. On Friday, the polar winds will work its way down, and by Sunday, cover the U.S. These are some of the temperature models as you see negative 54, negative 41, all the way to negative 11 degrees in southern Florida, with the worst temperature, negative 55 in Kansas. And the snow totals are insane, as it's literally too cold to snow in this area, and everywhere else could see multiple feet of snow, which includes 3 to 4 feet of snow in North and South Carolina. Make sure to follow me for updates, because this is about to be very dangerous and very cold.
I think most celebrities have a clone.
Oh yeah, I think all of us do.
All of us.
Yeah.
I haven't thought
You know that thing that they got in Vegas, that ball?
Yeah.
I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of LED cameras makes that thing up. But guess what? They got people going in there, walking in there, dancing, moving, singing along, shouting, yelling. Each one of those cameras also has a microphone. They have enough cameras in there to duplicate every person that walks in that ball. Voice, sound, movement. They got the YouTube concert running in there. The digital hologram concert, and anybody could come and see a U2 show. And I was just sitting there looking at the footage from it, and people were getting up, singing along, speaking, moving their hands, dancing. You collect enough movements, you can clone a whole human being. Not only clone, especially if you can get your hands on their DNA, but
Right.
you can create digital clones.
Yep.
And digital clones are the more popular thing right now, because the truth is most of the world operates and lives in and on technology.
134 square miles of thick, dry chaparral and oak, all within the city boundaries of Los Angeles, classed by experts as the fastest burning ground cover in the Western Hemisphere. The fire, starting from its point of origin north of Mulholland on Stone Canyon, spreads out along canyon walls in 3 directions. Flames begin spreading at the rate of 13 acres per minute.
We've got a report of 4 people trapped on foot between Chelan and Roscommare. We need help from the police department.
Send an ambulance to 2025 Stradella Road. How can a modern water system properly designed to meet emergency fire conditions fail to function? 484 times, fire proved its deadly efficiency by incinerating in a few roaring minutes what families had taken years to acquire.
That kind of seemed like a premonition of sorts, right? Very strange. Very strange. And the fire hoses didn't work at all.
And it's already started, y'all. Check this out. We're supposed to have a polar vortex where places like Florida, where I'm at, is supposed to get snow. I don't know, for the first time ever. Are y'all ready for that, Floridians? But check this out, y'all. This is in Rocky Mountain in Colorado. The river is literally frozen. Y'all see that? Has that ever happened before? So y'all know how we're going through a pole shift? Look at this in Russia, y'all. Look, they're having an ice tsunami. The water is moving slowly towards the shore. Check this out. Y'all see that? And it mirrors what the clouds be looking like. Look at this. So this polar vortex must be causing all kinds of anomalies with snow and ice, y'all. Because this is not the only place that this is happening to. This is happening in China too, y'all. Look at this. Wow, y'all see this? Why does it look like scales? Why does it look like, why does it look like dragon scales? Fish scales. Y'all see that? This is in China. This is happening all over. Wow. The way that the colors are just bouncing off that ice, this is incredible. So yes, y'all, Are you guys ready for this polar vortex? It's so weird that all of this is happening and we are at the peak of solar maximum 2025, right? It makes you wonder, what's really going on, y'all? But let me know what you guys think about this video. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. Let's continue to get this shift. Peace out.
If I told you that trying to control your dreams is messing with a boundary we're not supposed to touch, lucid dreaming isn't just some simple bedtime party trick. No, you go to sleep and suddenly, boom, you're in control. You can do whatever you want. Fly around, live out fantasies, go wherever your mind takes you. But think about it, when we sleep, it's almost like entering another dimension. You're in this state where you're vulnerable, not only physically, but spiritually. You're not here anymore, but you're not gone either. It's almost like a type of unalive state, and in that state, things can reach you. Why do you think so many religions and cultures have prayers or rituals before sleep? It's all about protection, a barrier, because when we go to sleep, it's like crossing into a whole other zone. But lucid dreaming, that's the opposite. It's like pushing on that barrier, trying to pierce it. You think it's all fun and games, maybe a chance to explore your mind, until it's not. You're tempting whatever's on the other side. And if something does come through, let's just say it might not be a friendly encounter. People talk about night terrors or sleep paralysis like they're random. But what if those moments of sheer terror are actually a peek behind the curtain, like something showing itself to you, a consequence of you playing around where you shouldn't be? You think, you're about to have some fun controlling your dreams, and maybe you do for a while. But then they reveal themselves, and once that door's open, it doesn't always close so easily. So before you decide to dip your toe into that other world, maybe ask yourself if you're ready to meet what's really waiting on the other side. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is just a joke for entertainment purposes.
Crazy things happening in the world right now. A man is trying to get his priceless collection of 6,000 bricks into a museum. A man was arrested after stealing almost $400,000 worth of cheddar cheese in London. The US Copyright Office has now made it so McDonald's has to legally fix their ice cream machines in an appropriate time. American Airlines is testing technology that audibly shames you if you try to cut in line. A Wisconsin pizzeria has apologized after customers accidentally got high because their pizza had THC in it. A man who went to the doctor complaining of indigestion had a live cockroach in his intestines. An employee's homemade meal at a Maryland seafood distributor caused mass food poisoning. Pizza Hut is offering to print resumes on boxes and deliver them to potential employers. An Ohio man was forced to cancel his credit card in order to escape his gym membership fees. Endangered bees are what's stopping Meta's plan for a nuclear-powered AI data.
Hey, that cockroach didn't look like it was alive to me. And I think that resumes on a pizza box might be a bad idea. I'm just saying.
How close are we to collapse? And what are the things that lead to collapse? It's environmental stuff. It's human sacrifice.
Yeah.
I mean, we do that.
Kinda.
We do.
Yeah.
The human sacrifice aspect is alive and well in our society.
Hey, Joe Rogan said, kinda. Yeah. Like he wasn't sure where Mel Gibson was going with any of that. That was pretty hilarious.
I'm going to tell you a little story. Cattle, beef, food. A lot of people don't know anything about where it comes from. So, I owned a restaurant for 10 years. Miraculous. I know. I started it with $30 in the bank and a month's worth of food stamps. I don't recommend that business model just for all you entrepreneurs. When it comes to your beef, grass-fed, organic, 99% of it is bullshit. I have my restaurant, sourced everything locally in North Carolina. The biggest organic, grass-fed, supposed best company in Asheville is called Hickory Nut Gap. I went to a party that we catered for one of my cheese purveyors, local goat cheese. Great times. We cooked 300 ears of corn, and we were all on mushrooms. I never bought the Hickory Nut Gap meat because it was 10 times the cost of any other beef. I ran into the owner of this company. He was drunk. Their farm's way up in the mountains, and I've driven by it many times, and there was never any animals out there. A couple goats. I asked him, hey man, where do y'all keep the cows at? Well, we don't have any cows. How do you sell all this meat? He said, there's a loophole in the laws in North Carolina, probably most states, to get certified organic grass-fed cow. It has to eat grass for 6 weeks. So what they do is they buy cattle from like New Mexico, from desert food lots where they're standing 2 feet deep in their own shit. They're eating like corn powder with fucking antibiotics and all kinds of shit in it. Super unnatural. They're packed in like sardines, dude. I've seen those kind of farms. It's nuts. They buy those cows at auction, super cheap, skinny ass cows, and then they transport them to whatever state. They stick them on grass in a barn with hay for 6 weeks, and technically it's a local, certified, organic, grass-fed cattle. That will blow your motherfucking mind. Process that. All your organics and all that's all bullshit. Took me like 3 years to find a legit local farm for my beef at my restaurant. It's a family-owned operation for over 100 years in North Carolina. The best beef I have ever had. Most tender, most flavorful beef. Even the tough cuts like sirloins and the skirt steaks are usually like rubber. Dude, straight up butter. The owner is a fabulous guy. He would pull up in his refrigerated truck and bring us pigs, all our cuts. Great company. If you're in North Carolina, look them up. Apple Brandy Farms. Took me years to find a farm that was legit in Asheville, North Carolina. Everybody thinks it's all local and organic.
Hey, that's just more confirmation. You can't always believe what you read, man. If it says organic and all this and all that, 9 times out of 10 it might not be. But at least he gave a little bit more insight on what it might be. So I like that kind of information.
2021, a Reddit user uploaded a series of images titled Scenes from Another Earth. The photos depicted familiar landmarks like the Eiffel Tower, the Golden Gate Bridge, and the Great Wall of China, but with small, unsettling differences. The Eiffel Tower had a spiral staircase wrapping around its exterior. The Golden Gate Bridge was painted black instead of red, and the Great Wall seemed to stretch into the sky like an impossible spiral. The images were remarkably realistic, not the kind of thing you'd expect from casual Photoshop. The user claimed they had found the photos on an old hard drive purchased at a flea market. In their post, they explained that the folder containing the images was labeled Earth Beta. They dismissed it as a prank until they noticed one photo showing a small town remarkably similar to the one they grew up in, but with different street names and an unfamiliar skyline. The post quickly went viral, with internet sleuths diving into the details. Metadata from the images suggested they had been created years before the user's hard drive purchase. However, some of the landmarks in the photos didn't align with modern-day geography. For example, a photo of Mount Everest showed a sprawling city built into its base. Theories began circulating online, ranging from advanced AI-generated imagery to alternate dimensions somehow captured in physical media. Then the Reddit user disappeared. Their account was deleted, and the photos vanished from the thread. However, screenshots had already spread across Reddit and other platforms. Some users claimed to have identified landmarks in the images that hadn't existed before, but were now under construction. Others alleged that they had seen glimpses of these alternate locations in their dreams, or during moments of déjà vu. The mystery of the other Earth photos remains unsolved, but it has sparked an ongoing debate about the nature of reality and the possibilities of parallel worlds. Are the photos evidence of another Earth, a sophisticated hoax, or something more sinister? For now, they serve as a reminder that the line between fiction and reality is thinner than we might think.
Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books. I appreciate you guys for stopping by yet again and watching another one with me. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button for me. Smash that subscribe button and join the iTrack fam, and I will definitely catch you on the next one.